We are 49 Burning Condors. I am Kimber. I am the lead vocalist and the lyricist.
I'm Chris Schmagli. I'm the lead guitarist and pianist. We are also missing our bassist, Zack, our drummer, Jason, and our violinist, Sasha T.
Yeah, and we are a Southern Gothic folk rock band, born, bred Philadelphia. We like to say that it would be Fleetwood Mac if they went through a goth phase. That's kind of our tone. I think this one?
If you want to, yeah.
Sure. So it actually started about 2-ish years ago. Well, actually a little bit longer. Chris was doing his own guitar songs under the name Christopher Michael Band, and he had put out his own EP, so I knew him through that. And then he got hired for a festival, and I think it was like a 3-hour set, but it was under the assumption that he had a vocalist, which of course he did not at the time. So at the very last minute, I jumped on board. I had a history of singing and music and writing songs in my living room. So we did that together. That kind of jump-started the entire process. And then I brought to him this kind of sad, pathetic scrap of paper that I had written a song on called Henrietta. And that ended up turning into Rosaline, which is a song off of our original EP, which will be on this new EP. And that was how 49 Burning Condors began.
Yep. And we got Zack, our bassist, right away. I knew him from another band that I was in through college. From there, we went and recorded a really rough EP with just the three of us. Really stripped down acoustic kind of songs. And then from there, we went on a hunt for a drummer. We found Jason Gooch. It was a long time after that with songwriting. And then our newest member was Sasha, who came in last minute right before this new EP that's going to be coming out to really round out the sound with the violin. And we're kind of looking for a violin.
Yeah, we always heard a violin in the sound.
And so that was like the last piece of the puzzle.
She feels for twilight and pulls down the night.
49 Burning Condors originates from a folk tale or an online tale of Johnny Cash, the legend Johnny Cash, who supposedly, I believe he was driving a truck or a van. He parked it because it was overheating and it caught fire to a field. And instead of doing something like a normal person would do, Johnny Cash went to a bar and had a drink because he's Johnny Cash. Turns out the field was a nature preserve, and it was the home to an endangered condor species. And he tragically set a large number of them on fire, and they almost went extinct because of that act. Now, whether or not this is true, I don't want to know. I think it's one of the best. I think it's one of the best kind of like folk tales of a musician that I've heard in a long time. And the name also sounds just awesome, but it fit our tone really well.
Yeah.
Where Kimber considers herself, and she definitely is, a storyteller, and we channel that through the music. So why not base our name off of this crazy story of one of our idols?
And it was never a question. We never went through any other band name iterations. It was always 49 Burning Condors.
Yeah.
We never questioned it.
I've had it from a very young age. I mean, I think a lot of musicians do. I started playing guitar when I was 11. And then from there, I eventually transferred a little bit to piano and music theory and everything like that. But I originally started playing blues songs. A lot of guitarists actually start off with that. I played some minor blues festivals in my high school days down in Westchester. From there, I've experimented with a bunch of different sounds, but I'm really happy to finally come back to this type of tone. I mean, we're not really a full-on blues band. We consider ourselves like Gothic folk, but it definitely has roots in there. We use 12-string guitars and resonators, and I don't know, it feels full circle with this band, and I'm very, very excited to get this new EP out. But yeah, that's kind of...
Where did my love of music start? I suppose, I mean, I've been performing, whether it be dance or piano or singing, since I was probably about 3. I think the first official recording of me singing was like 3. It was some Manatee song at a mall. And, you know, I grew up in a really musical home. My dad had a huge eclectic taste in music, everything from Johnny Cash to now Lady Gaga to gospel music, to the Beach Boys, to the Byrds, you know, so it was kind of run the gamut of music, and so it was just kind of bred into me. And I started taking vocal lessons when I was a little bit older. My parents wanted to protect the innocence of my voice when I was young, so I didn't take vocal lessons until a little bit later than a lot of singers. I was well into high school when I started vocal lessons. I did a lot of musical theater, as is what young girls like to do. And here we are. I started songwriting honestly just a few years ago. I was more of a story writer than a songwriter, but the two just kind of bled into each other. And
yeah, I think that works really well for 49 Burning Condors, because all of our songs, the majority of our songs are stories. They're your stories originally that we work into a song, which really works for song structure too, because then we can kind of explore the themes and stuff of the story itself and simplify it into a song.
I used to consider myself more of an author than a lyricist. It's kind of just a natural evolution of what I like to do.
Yep. No,
we had a really hard time categorizing the
everybody
music.
does. So we've been called alt rock before.
Mm-hmm.
We've also been called aggressive acoustic music, which was one of my favorite terminologies. We've been called folk horror, folk by guys who don't usually play folk. There's been a bunch of classifications that we've gotten, but essentially I don't know, me personally, a lot of my inspiration would come from books and movies and stuff like that for thematic stuff. And like that kind of, the Delta blues sound mixed with like my love of horror movies is kind of where I wanted to lean. And I think we've captured that, but it is a different sound. It is definitely not something that is easy to kind of pinpoint down, but it doesn't really sound like,
it doesn't sound like any one specific thing. You know, you could say, oh, it's folk music, but it's not quite as stripped down as folk music. I mean, we've got a lot of different instruments and layering happening.
It's darker
there.
generally.
It's
too.
a little bit darker.
Yeah.
It's not quite maybe as poppy as Fleetwood Mac, but it's got that kind of tone and quality
and that's
to
like
it.
we've been called alt rock sometimes, and I get that too. But like the majority of our songs are like resonator slide guitars and stuff like that. Like there's a twang element to it. But on top of all of that kind of grime and fuzz and pop and slides is this like beautiful melody line, which Kimber and now our violinist Sasha are really
Marrying with these kind of grittier tones.
yeah, where like we can kind of have this Delta blues backing feel that has a bit more driving than like a Muddy Waters, but like your traditional like Mississippi Fred McDowell, but on top of that is this like beautiful melody, almost like Stevie Nicks. Yeah, so I don't know, the classifications never come easy.
It's been awesome so far.
Extremely positive. Like I said, our next EP, we only have one EP previous to this, and it was really stripped down. It was Kimber and myself. We worked on it for like 6 months, and We got our bassist Zack at the time, and he didn't have much time to prepare for it. He did a great job, but it was very, very stripped down. This new EP we've been working on for about 2 years, because a lot of the work that went into the first EP started carrying it over. And we built pretty much everything from the ground up. It's not your traditional song structures, it's not your traditional type of pop music, but
it grabs people
yeah,
somehow.
it has resonated really well. So live shows have been excellent.
Spectacular.
Excellent.
My favorite experience at live shows is seeing, when the bartenders are stopping serving people to listen to you. Like, that's such a great feeling. And
Seeing
people are
people dance,
dancing and people are actually, they're stopping what they're doing and they're connecting with you and they're looking in your eyes and they're clapping and they're participating. I mean, that's not something that you get right away. And we've had a lot of people tell us that they are shocked beyond belief that we've only been playing together as a band, full band for 6 months.
I would not even, I mean, Sasha doing what,
3 or 4 months ago. I mean, we really all click with each other on stage, so it feels natural. It feels like we're veterans. I think that
there's a
people
high energy
sense that. There's really high energy. I mean, we have fun when we perform live. I mean, none of us are shy on stage. We love audience participation. So yeah, it's been great so far. I think we're just like itching to get this new EP out so people can hear the full sounds now, and we can go and do even more.
Yeah.
Plus Mississippi Fred McDowell. Plus Fleetwood Mac.
Yes. Now, if you've never heard of those bands, that is Gothic, beautiful Gothic, clean singing Queen mixed with Delta blues twang legend mixed with one of the best rock bands of all time, Fleetwood Mac.
We're really clearly very high on ourselves.
Beautiful. It's that beautiful melodic darkness mixed with twangy Delta blues, swampy blues, all in a package of alt rock bands. I was terrified. I mean, I don't know if you were too, but so when we kind of got lucky where when we started it was just Kimber and myself. And we had the same vision of marrying this kind of like horror story mixed with beautiful lyric stuff together in a twangy little package. And honestly, I wanted to do some shows. I was terrified, but I was happy with our first EP. And listening back to it, it's very rough. Like, it is very kind of amateurish, but it had the heart that I was looking for in a number of places. Rosaline was the main kind of example of that. We played a couple of shows, some open mics and stuff like that, got a couple of applauses. I did not know it was going to be received well. I did not expect it to be received at all. I just wanted to play what I liked, what I wanted to listen to, really, and what I wanted to hear. And this, like Rosaline, if I'm focusing in on the first EP that we carried over, the Rosaline song was like the birth of our band. And that type of music is what I wanted to hear. But we recorded the original EP, which again, amateurish. But from there, we had a little piece of the puzzle that we could show people. Like, because explaining it is hard, but we can go like this. Like, here, listen to this. Do you want to be a part of this? And I am shocked still to this day how fast this grew. We went from, I mean, we're not headlining like major venues or anything like that, but just the sound itself and the band. We went from a 2-person acoustic guitar and vocals kind of Delta twang blues to these bigger, bolder songs with unique song structures and extremely talented musicians basically that are completely on board and are just carrying it along. We released the original EP a little less than a year ago, and I got a notification on my phone that it's been like the 1 year anniversary, and I was like, I can't believe it's only been a year, because we put so much work into it, week after week, 5-hour practices, writing sessions, and all this stuff that's just been a blur, and not in terms of like show stature, in terms of venues, that definitely has improved. But looking at the songs themselves and how many people got it, it's amazing. And yeah, I'm still terrified. I mean, yeah, it's scary because like you put so much time and effort into this thing, and you put every piece of you into it. You work like we work day jobs, and then we come back and we put
work our night jobs.
all of our effort into this till very, very late at night generally. And it doesn't feel like work. And then you have to go and show it to people. And the fact that it's gaining people that like it. It's gaining people that like the art, like the sound, like the tone, love Kimber's voice, like the vocals, like the bass line, like the drums, the violin. And you have these other musicians that came and joined us, and they're not only on board, but they're excited to contribute. And it's been amazing. But yeah, originally I didn't think it was going to go anywhere. Honestly, I thought it was going to be me and you playing some bar shows, which I would have been so happy with.
Yeah.
Brought down the sky. Broken promises keep you warm at night. Burn down for tonight. Changes often as the moon without the glowing mystery. Dress it up and lay her down. You got